You know, it's wild to look back. In just the span of a few short years, artificial intelligence has completely evolved. We've gone from these clunky, simple text generators to fully autonomous digital workers. So today, we're diving into this explainer to break down the top 10 AI tools that are absolutely dominating professional workflows right now in July 2026. This data comes straight from Novamind Studio, and we're going to see exactly how human labor is fundamentally shifting in real time. And look, rather than just running down a basic top 10 list, we're going to group these tools historically and functionally. We'll look at everyday assistants, the new coding powerhouses, next-gen creative tools, and finally, how you can actually build your own specialized AI toolkit today. All right, let's jump right into part one, everyday assistants and research. These are the models operating at the very core of modern business. Starting us off is ChatGPT, which is now running GPT 5.4. It still firmly holds that #1 spot as the foundation for modern professionals. Historically, you probably remember having to bounce around between 5 different apps for writing, image generation, and research. Well, those days are gone. Today, it serves as this massive all-in-one anchor, centralizing all those distinct tasks into a single workspace. It's literally the hub. Now, if you're doing rigorous fact-checking, Perplexity is the undisputed industry standard right now. It completely sets itself apart by explicitly citing its sources. No more guessing where the AI got its facts. Plus, with their new Comet browser now available totally for free, verifiable AI-assisted research is more accessible to us than ever before. Then we have Google's NotebookLM, which takes a totally different approach. Instead of scraping the open web, it takes your personal documents and synthesizes them into a highly queryable knowledge base. It'll even generate custom audio summaries of your own files for you to listen to. For localized, document-heavy research, it is absolutely the category leader. And here is the defining historical trend across this whole foundational research category. It's all about accessibility. ChatGPT, Perplexity, and NotebookLM all offer incredibly robust free tiers. They are effectively lowering the barrier to entry for professional-grade AI to absolute zero. So, we've got our general research and daily tasks completely covered. But what happens when things get technical? What tools are transforming software development right now when you need to write complex code, debug massive systems, or just automate the tedious stuff? Well, that brings us right to our next section, the new coding powerhouses. And let me tell you, the landscape here is fiercely competitive. To really grasp this evolution in software, we need to understand a term that's everywhere right now: agentic task handling. Just a year ago, coding AI was essentially just a really fancy autocomplete. Today, they act like independent developers. They execute multi-step workflows. They utilize external tools on their own, and they make autonomous logical decisions to complete complex objectives. Leading this massive shift is Anthropic's Claude Sonnet 5. It is being heavily utilized right now for agentic debugging and multi-step reasoning. But the real reason we're seeing such massive corporate adoption is its aggressive introductory pricing for data processing. It is effectively making high-level logic affordable for everyday business operations. Meanwhile, Cursor 3 takes a hyper-specialized approach. It's a dedicated code editor that actually lets developers run multiple AI agents simultaneously across both local and cloud environments. It's essentially giving a single programmer an entire team of digital assistants working in parallel. This profound level of software automation is exactly why SpaceX is reportedly acquiring the platform in a landmark $60 billion deal. Mind-blowing, right? And entering the fray just this week is xAI's Grok 4.5. Included directly with X Premium Plus, it brings enhanced coding, agentic task handling, and serious knowledge work capabilities. It's positioning itself as a fierce, direct competitor to Claude Code and OpenAI Codex. So choosing between these heavyweights really comes down to your core objective. Claude excels in that broad logic that translates beautifully into standard business workflows. Cursor, on the other hand, is purpose-built for the rigorous, parallel demands of dedicated software engineering. It really depends on what you're building. Okay, we've tackled text, data, and complex code. But what about the visual side of things? How are these models handling the intense creative demands of modern businesses? Let's dive into part 3. Next-gen creative tools. The visual fidelity and sheer generation speeds we are witnessing today are historically unprecedented. First up here is Canva AI's massive Grow 2.0 update. This represents a huge consolidation in the design space. Historically, you had a highly fragmented creative process. Canva takes all of that and unifies it into a single, seamless, brand-consistent pipeline. Canva is now overseeing the entire lifecycle of a marketing campaign for us. It generates the initial ad creative, automates the publishing across Meta and TikTok, tracks the performance, and even produces creative refreshes on the fly. And the kicker? It now embeds these capabilities directly inside your ChatGPT workflows. It's an absolute game changer. For pure asset creation, the market is currently split into two camps. On one side, you have Midjourney V8.1, which remains the undisputed industry standard for stylized, visually consistent artwork. But for video, Kling AI is currently the dominant force. It's achieving incredibly realistic motion and scene continuity across short clips that you honestly have to see to believe. We also can't ignore Google DeepMind's latest rollouts this week. Nano Banana 2 Lite is providing super fast, cost-friendly image generation. Meanwhile, the video-focused Gemini Omni Flash is actively powering Google Photos' brand new video remix feature. This allows for instant conversational video editing that feels incredibly natural. Now, if we look at the pricing, the economic model shifts pretty dramatically in this creative space. Unlike those robust free tiers we saw with the foundational research tools, heavy hitters for high-fidelity visual generation like Midjourney operate strictly on paid subscription models. You're definitely paying a premium for that pixel-perfect quality. All right, this leads us to our fourth and final section, building your AI toolkit. How do you actually deploy all this technology in your day-to-day? The prevailing data from this week's report reveals a definitive, historic shift towards specialization. The most efficient professionals out there are no longer relying on a single, generalized AI to do everything. Instead, they are actively stringing these specialized models together into highly custom digital pipelines. So, constructing a highly effective toolkit for yourself requires 3 simple steps. First, you need to pinpoint your exact daily bottlenecks. What's slowing you down? Second, match that specific bottleneck with the category leaders we just covered. And third, leverage those generous free tiers to test the workflow before you commit financially. We are operating in an environment that literally evolves by the week. Software is completing its historical transition from a passive tool into an active, independent agent. With this level of autonomous power readily available to us today, which of these tools will you integrate first to fundamentally transform the way you work tomorrow?